Welcome to Pokemon. Patrick the Programmer here. I'm going to be playing some Pokemon in a couple weeks. I've never played it before, so I thought I'd jump in and figure out how it works. And I am going to explain what I think is going on. First thing I'm going to do is give a quick tour of the elements, the physical elements of the Pokemon game. And then the second thing I'm going to do is do a 1/2 move sample turn. So first off, Pokemon is a competitive two-player turn-based card game. So inside these decks here are some cards. I'll show those in a second. It's a two-player game, so the one player sits here, the other player sits on the other side there. It's a competitive game, so there will be a winner and a loser. And it's a card game. So you put your cards out, and then your cards either win or lose, and then you move on to the next turn until the game finishes. So first off, looking at the elements of the game, here's a mat, and here's a mat for the second player. This particular mat has an active, well, they both have active spots, but this one is a dark active spot. This active spot here is a bright active spot, and the reason for that is because I bought two pre-packaged decks and mats. This deck here is for Houndoom. Houndoom is a lava type, and so they're giving it a black battle mat. This deck here is metal, so they give it kind of a metal sheen up there. So the first thing I'm going to do is open these decks that you get. So I bought this deck and all the appropriate extras that go with it, and same with metal over here. So the first thing that's mildly interesting is this guy came with a special card. I'll open him up and show you guys what's in there. So here's the special card. It's a Houndoom, shiny. The other cards are more of a matte color. And this is the special shiny card that you get along with this deck. So what I'll do is go ahead and leave that there for a second and then show you the rest of the elements. This is the deck. There are 60 cards in the deck. There's a bunch of different cards. I'll in a second go over the various different types of cards. You also get a nice summary of the rules here. So this is what you can do during your turn. This says what you can do during your turn. So this is nice to have during a turn. There are 7 steps. We'll just go through those later. You also get some more rules cards, another nice card. Here's a strategy set of instructions. I'm not smart enough to do any strategy right now, so I'm going to leave that alone. This is some cards will attack other cards and put hit points on the other cards. So this allows you to keep track of it. So it starts with 10 hits, 50 hits, and 100 hits. I'll show you more of those later. I'm going to leave this unopened so that whoever gets to play this gets the fun of poking out those numbers. So that's the mat. You put your deck here on the deck section where it says deck. There's also a discard pile as you go through the game, as you go through turn by turn. That you can see there are some items here where you finish up with that and you throw the cards that you're done with on the discard pile. There's a bench, which is down here, which is where you can put some of your Pokemons. There's the active spot where you put your Pokemon who's doing the attacking and defending. And then there are prize cards here where they're basically used to keep score during the game. So what I'm going to do is jump and take a look at each turn by turn. So you start off the game by setting up the decks here. Then during each turn, you have, like I said, 7 things you can do. You draw cards, you move cards around, you attach energy, you retreat, and then you attack, which is the final thing there. And then the last thing I want to do is show you the 3 different types of cards. There's a trainer card, there's an energy card, and there's a Pokemon card. So those are the 3 types of cards. I've already showed you the Pokemon card. This is the most detailed card, and I'll step through the things that are on here. First, at the top, it's got the name Houndoom. This has the 270 hit points. So when the opponent attacks, the opponent has to attack probably multiple times to add up to 270 hit points before you get rid of this particular card. This card is a stage 1, which means it's not a basic card, which is important later on. This card has 2 attacks, an Evil Claw, which does 90 hit points, and a Hound's Fang, which does 220 hit points. The Evil Claw requires 2 energy cards to work, and the Hound's Fang requires 3 energy cards to work. So speaking of energy cards, that's the energy card for the Houndoom deck. The Melmetal deck has a different type of energy card, but those energy cards work for the Melmetal deck, and this type of energy card works for the Houndoom deck. Lastly, there are a fair number of cards that are trainer cards, and those are basically cards that you can play, and when you play that card, what you do is you read the description on the card, and then do what the description said. So you play a card, you read the description, and do what it said. Trainer cards is number 5, and then I'll just leave this here while we go. So there's what you can do during your turn. So for the sample half turn, I will go ahead and set everything up. The first thing that you do when you set everything up is that you put these mats out. The second thing that you do is you take your deck. This is the Houndoom deck, shuffle it up, shuffle, put it on the deck part. I will go ahead and do the same for Melmetal. Here's Melmetal. Take him off, open him up. Just for fun, here's the Melmetal card. And then here's the Melmetal deck. I will take the deck out very calmly and rationally, shuffle it up. Shuffle, completely legitimate shuffle, put it on the deck. And then move all this stuff off to the side. And then it says flip a coin to see who goes first. When you buy these decks, you get this nice coin. I will pick this coin, and just for this sample turn, the Houndoom side is going to go first, which is right here. This is Houndoom. This side here is Melmetal. During the turn, again, or before the first turn, what you do is draw 7 cards, which I'll go ahead on the Melmetal and draw 7 cards. That's their card. That's the Melmetal card. I'll leave them so you can see them. And then I'll go ahead and draw 7 cards completely, totally at random. I just happen to have in my hand here for the Houndoom side. And what I've got is I've got an Umbreon card, an Eevee card, a Houndour card, a Nimble card, a Nest Ball, and 2 energies. Now I picked these 7 before the game so that I would have basically one of each kind of card. We talked earlier, there's Pokemon cards, there's trainer cards, and there's energy cards. So I'll go through half a turn. Now that I've got all these kinds of cards, I can go ahead and make an interesting half turn. The other thing that you do is you put 6. And do that for Melmetal.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
This set of 6 cards and this set of 6 cards are used to keep score. As you defeat someone else's Pokemon, which we'll go into later, you just pick up one of these cards, and then that'll allow you to easily keep score as to who has defeated the most Pokemon. So we'll go ahead and do the first step, which is, the before the first turn step. The first step is put a basic Pokemon on the active spot. Here's the active spot, and I've got a This is a card that I've selected. You can see that's a basic Pokemon. It's called Eevee. It has 70 hit points. It has a cheer up attack, which costs 1 energy. It has a kick attack, which causes 20 damage, which does 2 energy. The cheer up attack, to read the description to see what it does. So I will play this Pokemon on my active spot. On the active spot. Place your cards here. This is my hand. I'll go ahead and turn it up so everybody can see it if you're interested. Here's the hand for Melmetal. We won't be actually using these cards, so I'll leave them right here, but Melmetal would go in and find a basic card that's a Melmetal card. So they're required to put a basic card on their active spot, and then they've got other cards down here. I put them on the bench, but the bench is a special place, which I'll go into in a little bit. And right now, we switch over and we move to the what you can do during your turn. I decided I get to go first. So, I've gone in and talked about Pokemon being a competitive 2-player turn-based card game. These are the cards. You play cards and do things that you're allowed to do in a card game. Then I've gone over what the kind of the physical parts of the game are, the deck and these mats. And now I'm going into the game itself. So what I'm going to do in this half turn for my player or my guys is one, I'm going to draw a card. Got another basic energy. So I've got I had 7 cards, and then I put one of them here. That gave me 6 cards, and then I drew one more. I've got 3 energies, 3 Pokemon, and 1 trainer. So step 2 is put a basic Pokemon on your bench if you want to. I have 2 basic Pokemon. Nimble, which has 1 attack, and Hondur, which has 2 attacks. So I will go ahead and take these 2 cards and put them onto my bench. Put them right over here. That's step number 2. And then the next thing I'll do is I'll attach 1 energy card to one of my Pokemon, which I can do once a turn. So I have 3 Pokemon out there. I'm going to attach this energy card to the active guy because I need that energy card to fire up this attack. I'm going to attack with this guy, attack the opponent's Pokemon. Okay? I can evolve Pokemon as many as I want. It just so happens, coincidentally, that I also was lucky enough to draw an Umbreon, which you can see evolves from Eevee and has 110 hit points, and it has 2 attacks. So I'm going to evolve my Eevee from an Eevee to an Umbreon. I could also evolve Nimble and Hondur if I had the evolved versions of those, which in my hand, which I don't. Then I can play trainer cards. I do have 1 trainer card. And the question is, do I want to play that? All I have to do is read the text here. It says, search your deck for a basic Pokemon and put it on your bench. I will go ahead and play this card. So I just need a basic Pokemon. Looking for a basic Pokemon. Okay, so here's a basic Pokemon. I just picked the first one at random. Seviper or Seviper. It's a basic Pokemon. It has 2 attacks. The first one of which requires 1 energy and does 20 damage. The second one of which requires 2 energy and does 50 or more damage. So they said put this in your bench. I went ahead and did that. And then I'm going to discard this trainer because I played it. So now that was step 5. And 6, I can retreat my active Pokemon, which I'm not going to do. And then the last thing I can do on number 7 is attack with my active Pokemon. So my active Pokemon has an attack called Faint Attack, which, reading this, goes, this attack does 50 damage to one of your opponent's Pokemon. This attack isn't damaged by other stuff, a weakness or resistance, which I've decided to ignore. right now or by any other effects on the Pokemon. So I can do 50 damage. So this basically is a feint attack, which takes 1 energy and does 50 damage. I do have 1 energy, which is right here, so I can do this feint attack. So I'm going to do 50 damage to this Varoom. So Varoom has 60 hit points. I've done 50 damage to it, so I have not eliminated this, but I've almost eliminated this Varoom. So if we kept playing, the Varoom on the next turn could attack back with this spinning draw and do 10 damage to my card. So at this point, this is where you would take the coins and put 50 worth of coins out on top of this Varoom, just so you remember that. But I can remember it right now. Plus, I'm going to pretty much call everything a day right now, and appreciate everybody stopping by. The idea is I've done my 7 things that I'm allowed to do. I turn it over to the other person, and they do their 7 things, and then it goes on. And one of the other side has eliminated 6 of the other person's Pokemon. So thanks, everybody.